Good morning, I'm Chris Andrus, and this is my participating video for the Lamar University Masters of Education program in Educational Leadership. The activity that I chose to do for this interview was to do campus vision interviews and cover the different questions that were provided. I'm here at a school of about 350 to 400 students. So kind of a small little school here in southwestern Utah. Our staff consists of about 20 to 25 full and part-time teachers, so really not very big. And then we of course have our administrative leadership and staff, which in total, we're probably a staff of about 30 to 35 members. And so again, a small team. My interviews consisted of our principal, a special ed director, a guidance counselor, and 6 of our teachers, so covering a decent chunk or cross-section of our staff. And the interviews were great, they were enjoyable, but of course, over 2 weeks of interviewing, things change in a school, and policies, procedures change, the way we do things. And so it's interesting to see how some of the opinions change on different topics or different questions to do with campus vision. And I'll talk about that a little deeper in the reflection at the end. So here we go. Okay, this is one of our science teachers. She's quite the veteran. So okay, so our first question to do with campus vision. How does the campus acknowledge, recognize, and celebrate those who implement strategies in support of the campus vision?
Well, the first thing I thought of when I looked at this was, do I really know what the campus vision is? And honestly, I know we talked about it at the beginning of the year, and I believe it talked about world-class education and reaching out to help others as well. We added that at our retreat. I don't remember it exactly. The campus acknowledge it. I think we're going to have it printed out on posters so we can all hang it in our classrooms. I don't know how we are celebrating that. And I don't remember it being referred to a lot recently since the retreat.
Okay. Okay, second one, how are these contributions and achievements effectively communicated to the staff, students, and community?
I honestly don't know. I've never specifically communicated the vision to my students. I don't remember Rosanna doing it other than at the retreat. In the community, I know that we try to post things in the newspaper and that when our kids are doing things and being involved in the community. That's all I know about that.
Okay. There's a lot wrapped into some of these questions.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Okay, third one, how does the campus use innovative thinking, risk-taking, or failures as a learning experience to promote the campus vision?
Good one.
Yeah, and when I thought about any of these, I think of more of our vision even as a campus, as much as anything. So.
I'll be honest. I feel like the innovative thinking and the risk-taking is mainly being done at the top level right now. I feel like we have a new administrator who's come in and has these great, cool ideas and vision of where she wants us to go. And honestly, I'm not sure that she's got the vision of who we are now and how we are a little bit different. And I feel like I was all excited at first, and now I kind of feel like it's her vision. And I mean, I'll support her and do to help her reach that, but she is losing support, I can tell you that. Because as a teacher, you almost feel like she has her plan, and there's no input from you, and you just go with her plan. And I feel like we're losing some good people
Okay.
because of that.
Okay.
So I feel like it's a top-heavy vision.
Okay. And the last one, what processes are used in improving morale, which moves the campus toward the realization of the campus vision?
Well, right now, the first thing I think of is the trackers or the academic coaches that were hired. That should be used to improve morale, because hopefully students' grades will improve. I honestly don't feel like morale is that great right now, to be honest. It's just not. I know that with our faculty meetings, we're doing a book study, and I like the idea of us working together and teaching each other, but I just feel like it's so basic that it's nothing that really helps me much in my classroom. I don't think that's improved morale, to be honest. I think people are frustrated with it. But again, I'll, like most people, will just go with it and, try to be a team player. I don't know. I don't see this really happening a lot.
Okay. Okay. That's fine. All right. Thank you. Okay, for our next interview, I'm interviewing one of our English teachers here at the high school, so talking about our campus vision. So our first question is, how does the campus acknowledge, recognize, and celebrate those who implement strategies in support of the campus vision?
Well, I think that our staff works well together and that we try to recognize each other. I think that that's important, that we do take our initiative to recognize what is going on outside of our own classroom and to acknowledge those teachers and all the things that they are doing. Sometimes we can feel like we're not really noticed, that what we're doing isn't being seen or noticed, and so it's nice if somebody says something. I know we have had things mentioned in staff meetings about particular events that have taken place or something that someone is doing that's spectacular at the time. Also, emails that go out that kind of keep us in the loop of what's going on around campus.
Okay, second question. How are these contributions and achievements effectively communicated to the staff, students, and community?
I think there's two parts to that question. I am not sure that we are necessarily effectively communicating that to the staff. I think that that's a very important thing, but I'm not sure that we're doing that as well as we could be doing it. We do get it now through emails. A lot of times it seems a little delayed. I'm not sure that we're getting that immediate feedback. I find that the teachers that send out things and say this is how we did in this particular event or whatever, I like to hear directly from the teacher because they know their subject better than anybody else giving it,
Sure. Okay. How does the campus use innovative thinking, risk-taking, or failures as a learning experience to promote the campus vision?
Well, we are working on a book right now where we are thinking, we've been assigned a chapter that we are to share with the group. I think that is a good way to see how people think. Some may be taking risks while they're doing their chapter, others that may not be the case. I think that I don't know, that's a hard one because I'm not sure that we're doing a whole lot of that, but I think we're trying. I think we're going to get there. That's a work in progress.
Okay. And the last question, what processes are used in improving morale, which moves the campus toward the realization of the campus vision?
My interpretation of the morale is the overall feeling in the school. And just because this is how I live, I feel like a clean, nice environment matters, and I feel like we've done that we've made a few changes that make the school feel nice. I think the kids have a different level of respect for the school in that case and for the environment. I think that, being positive, having student of the week, recognizing those students who are doing good things, and I think that helps them. And I've heard kids say, "Oh, I want to get that before the year." I think it's motivation for the kids, and I think that helps improve the morale.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you. Okay, so for this interview, this is one of our math teachers, and we're talking again about our campus vision. So first question is, how does the campus acknowledge, recognize, and celebrate those who implement strategies in support of the campus vision?
I think that acknowledgement and recognition are not implemented. We do have a campus vision. I think that as a group we talk about the campus vision, but I don't know as if any individuals are ever acknowledged or recognized for their particular contributions. Sometimes in our faculty meeting, people who are working hard on projects are recognized for their effort, which is good, but I feel like it's only in those venues that are very publicized, and especially in areas at the school that don't have a large performance or public venue, that teachers who are working hard to get the campus vision in those areas are not getting any recognition, except for maybe in the Teacher of the Year award at the end of the year. And that's really the only one that's available.
Okay. Okay, our second question, how are these contributions and achievements effectively communicated to the staff, students, and community?
Only the Teacher Recognition Award, as far as the community is concerned. I don't think that unless there is an outside source, for example, sometimes we have teachers who win community awards, and then that group comes in to do the publicity. And these are larger type awards. I think awards that are in-house, which I can only think of the one that's done at Titan Time, the Teacher of the Year Award, that is not really reported to the community at large, only to the students who attend and not anywhere else. And once again, in staff meeting, only those who are doing very large type tasks. And there's not a lot of communication to the staff that this person has done a great job in supporting the campus vision.
Okay. Okay, third question, how does the campus use innovative thinking, risk-taking, or failures as a learning experience to promote the campus vision?
I don't think anything formally is in place. I think that innovative thinking is celebrated. I think that risk-taking is something that leads to failure, and that because of that, our teachers currently are not comfortable taking any large risks, especially if the administration, I feel like the administration is not embracing a wide view of what's innovative. I think they have a very narrow view of what innovation is right now.
Okay. Okay. And our last question, what processes are used in improving morale, which moves the campus toward the realization of the campus vision?
I think that because of our unique situation in administration, turnover, we don't have anything in place for improving morale. Right now, what we have are some attempts at communicating what good morale is, but that we're not on the same page right now. And so I think that it's a learning experience, but I think that we have not found a way to improve morale yet. And so I don't think that it moves toward the campus vision at all.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, that'll.
Okay, for this interview, I'm meeting with one of our school guidance counselors to talk about campus vision. So our first question is, how does the campus acknowledge, recognize, and celebrate those who implement strategies in support of the campus vision?
Okay, well, some of the things that I've thought about were teacher awards, which happen at the end of the school year, where teachers have a chance to be recognized by the administration for work that they've done that year. I've also noticed that administration will verbally recognize individuals or groups that have done something special at faculty meeting or that we have once a week on Fridays. And administration also sends out emails to the faculty just as a group basis, sending praise for something that was accomplished or something that was done really well.
Okay. Question number 2. How are these contributions and achievements effectively communicated to the staff, students, and community?
To the staff, I noticed, again, emails out to faculty, but those emails that celebrate achievements are also sent out to parents and students via our Titan newsletter, which goes out in an email once a week. I've also noticed that administration will use the school announcement system if a group performed especially well or if there was something that happened, and they'll talk about that and point out, how that group, whether it was a competition or whatever they were doing, they'll point out that group and say what happened. So those are probably the two that stick out in my mind the most.
Okay. Third, how does the campus use innovative thinking, risk-taking, or failures as a learning experience to promote the campus vision?
When I think of innovative thinking, the thing that springs to mind most readily is a new system that we've used this year called ParentLink. And ParentLink is just a system where we can send out emails, voicemails, texts, and then also post messages to our school app that have all sorts of information, just school information, but as well as recognizing individuals for certain achievements. And it's really nice because you can send them out to a lot really quickly. So from a counseling standpoint, it's great. We get lots of information out that way. And I think we're pretty good as a school about taking some risks. We're a different kind of school. We do different things. And I think whether it's in competition or whatever we're doing, I think our teachers try to push a risk and try to teach our students that it's really worth it to take a risk. And hopefully we're also teaching, how to deal with failures as well. I think we are.
Okay, and last question. What processes are used in improving morale, which moves the campus toward the realization of the campus vision?
This is an area I feel like we could improve on, honestly. I feel like we need to maybe find a way to invest people greater in our campus vision, maybe make it more important to the individual. And then, at the beginning of the year, we had a lot of emphasis on the campus vision, but it feels like to me, we kind of lost the thread of that through the school year and didn't tie it into the reality of what really goes on in the school year. So I think that's part of improving morale. If we want to improve morale as it moves towards the realization of the campus vision, people have to be personally invested in that campus vision, and I don't feel like that happened so much this year. I feel like there is a vision, but I don't know how invested we were as a group in that vision.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, so our interview today is with one of our math teachers. And again, we're talking about our campus vision. So our first question is, how does the campus acknowledge, recognize, and celebrate those who implement strategies in support of the campus vision?
Currently, I would say since we're in a state of transition with a new principal, that there hasn't been a lot of acknowledgement when you implement a strategy that helps the campus vision, because we are currently reformulating that campus vision. But we have started to do things like open forums where teachers can come and discuss how we can have better communication, and how we can work together basically to redesign the campus so it's the best for not only the students but for the faculty here at the school.
Okay, our next question. How are these contributions and achievements effectively communicated to the staff, students, and community?
We have a program called the Titan Awards program that recognizes students for the work that they do in just their academics, sometimes in their performance classes. And for students, I think they really work hard to get that invitation to go to that meeting, because it's invite only, and then we invite the parents of those students. I'm not sure that as the school that we do so well sharing with the community, because we are really kind of closed off with ourselves and the parents of our students, and I think we could be better with our community. And as I said, with the state of transition, we haven't had a lot of recognition of staff and the people on staff who have achieved great things, and I'm hoping to see that change.
Okay. How does the campus use innovative thinking, risk-taking, or failures as a learning experience to promote the campus vision?
We are always trying new programs. A lot of the time, half the faculty thinks it's great and the other half of the faculty thinks it's awful. But we try things like we have Titan Time. It's been a work in progress over the last 8 years. It started as what we called the Titan Cube Time, where kids would go to every class to get help. Then it evolved to a tutorial time after school that was mandatory. And then it evolved into what we do now, where the kids who need tutoring help go to tutoring, but the kids who are all caught up in their classes can go to an assembly or a workshop. And I think we're still going to see that evolve. So we've seen it work for some teachers and not for other teachers, and so we've changed it and we've molded it. Right now we're taking a risk by implementing an addition component to our application process, and we've seen a downturn in applications to our school, so I imagine we're going to see that change, probably the language and how it's run. And so usually we test something and see if it works. If it works, we try to evolve it. If it doesn't work, we say, well, let's start over with something else. And so I think the school is really good at making those decisions.
Okay. And last one, what processes are used in improving morale, which moves the campus toward the realization of the campus vision?
As I said, we started an open forum for teachers, and that's been really beneficial, because I know there were a lot of teachers that this year kind of felt displaced because of the change in leadership. It's probably been a good experience for some of us because we've never had a change in leadership. And so to be able to voice our opinions and show how much we care for the school, I think has really helped morale a lot. I think there's been a lack of communication and a lack of understanding on both sides. And so now that we understand there's been a lack of communication, I think we can move forward to work together to make the campus vision apply to everyone.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so, the teacher I have right now is one of our foreign language teacher. Teaches French, Spanish, and English.
That's correct.
Yeah, that's correct. Okay, so first question about campus vision is, how does the campus acknowledge, recognize, and celebrate those who implement strategies in support of the campus vision?
Well,
Teachers, of course, there are always there is the one-on-one that we receive from our peers. Hey, that was a great job today, teaching the faculty, whatever. And then there are the shout-outs during the morning announcements given by our principal or someone else in command that highlight a certain activity that was coordinated by a staff member, a faculty member. And then, of course, the culmination are the Titan Awards, at the end of the year, which kind of give us our Teacher of the Year type or Teachers of the Year.
Okay. Second question. How are these contributions and achievements effectively communicated to the staff, students, and community?
Well, as I said, over the morning announcements to the students, newsletters for the parents, it's communicated through newsletters, which are online newsletters. Word of mouth. Sometimes it's just someone praises you and kids share that with other kids and staff members or whoever, and it gets around.
Okay. All right, third question. How does the campus use innovative thinking, risk-taking, or failures as a learning experience to promote the campus vision?
This is an interesting question because I think part of our campus vision is to work assertively to ensure each student is successful in our classes. We have tried to implement a Titan Time tutorial to help kids make up homework, take or retake exams, or to receive extra one-on-one instructional time from a teacher. This has been a trial and error process to insert this 30 to 40 minutes into a schedule, and it's taken a number of years to get it to a point where teachers and students feel okay about it, that it's meeting the needs. So I think we are doing the trial and error and doing change-ups and not being afraid to do those, make those changes to make the program better.
Okay. All right, and last question. What processes are used in improving morale, which moves the campus toward the realization of the campus vision?
Well, for one thing, at the beginning of the year we have a faculty retreat away from the school to discuss lots of things. I mean, we receive tutelage in different areas that help us as teachers to become more effective. But what I think is brought up at that time and is an absolute important segment of this experience is the fact that we discuss the successes and failures of the campus vision. The campus vision is posted here on our campus, in school, on walls, different places, and we have weekly faculty meetings where we discuss parts of the campus vision that maybe a part that's being neglected or something that has been done well by a faculty member, and so there again we highlight that faculty member and continue to move forward in. It does improve morale because it helps us to feel like we're doing something even if sometimes it doesn't happen to be perfect.
Yeah.
So,
Okay. Awesome. Thank you.
you're welcome.
That's a show. So, first question. How does the campus acknowledge, recognize, and celebrate those who implement strategies in support of the campus vision?
Well, I would say we do that more informally than formally, but on our Friday times together as faculty, I think we try to recognize and acknowledge those events and activities that have been led by teachers that have gone, above and beyond and kind of raised the vision for the school. I'm still, as a first-year principal at this school, I'm still trying to decide what kind of acknowledgments I want to have take place at the end of the school year. It's been done one way, and I may want to continue that or do something slightly different. But and the other thing is, I think we often have parents that go out of their way to celebrate and recognize teachers that they appreciate.
Okay. All right. Okay, number 2. How are these contributions and achievements effectively communicated to the staff, students, and community?
Well, I just finished a little info mail. We try to get something out every Friday to parents and staff. Do you guys get those?
Yeah.
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 So we try to highlight some of the things going on at the school and some of the achievements. So I think that's probably the main way that we do that.
Okay. Third one, how does the campus use innovative thinking, risk-taking, or failures as a learning experience to promote the campus vision?
Well, I think what I'm trying to promote and create is an opportunity for faculty sharing, an environment where faculty members can collaboratively discuss what they're doing in their classes and what their successes are, and hopefully over time they'll also be safe to discuss some of their failures. I think people don't normally do that until there's the level of trust.
Yeah.
So, I think our Friday and our early out times, and then, I'm also already starting to think about our next faculty retreat, where we'll have some concentrated time to really delve into some of those things.
Okay. And last one, what processes are used in improving morale, which moves the campus toward the realization of the campus vision?
I think all of these questions are kind of an undergirding to morale. When people feel like their ideas are valued, like their efforts are recognized, morale improves.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's a byproduct.
Okay.
I don't think you go out to say you can't really go out and hand out morale.
Yeah.
There's some morale for you. But I think it also is reflected in the way you treat your community, your professional community, by treating them like professionals, by expecting them to behave as professionals, and by compensating them as professionals with the packages that we can do with benefits and salary.
Right.
So
Okay.
hopefully that all works together.
Awesome. All right. Thank
Good
you.
job.
Free. Okay, our next interview is our special ed director here at the school. And we're again talking about our campus vision. So our first question is, how does the campus acknowledge, recognize, and celebrate those who implement strategies and support the campus vision?
Okay, well, in all honesty, I don't think we've had a lot of that. I think we were set up to do it through our faculty meetings on Friday mornings. That's when most of the interaction and interviews took place. We kind of haven't been doing that this year. I do know that recognition goes out through emails. If something happens, I know that it goes personally to the person who did it. I don't know if it's in all school, because I don't really hear about other people's accomplishments. If we do a play or dance, an assembly that's extremely successful, then I'll see it in the email. And then the other thing, it goes out in our info mail. Heather, there will always be some kind of acknowledgement that goes out in a weekly newsletter that goes to parents and teachers and students. But other than that, I really can't tell you.
Okay. Okay, our second question. How are these contributions and achievements effectively communicated to the staff, students, and community?
Same thing. It happens through the emails. It happens through interaction. There isn't a formal process that I've seen.
Okay.
As far as community goes, I know that in the past we've had a newspaper liaison who's supposed to go to the newspaper and let people know in the newspaper, Tucon is doing this or Tucon has done that. And we have seen that. But my feeling is with less and less people reading the newspaper, maybe we need more social media to do that. And I personally am not in contact with them, so I don't know if that's happening or not. I'm not seeing it.
Okay. All right, third question. How does the campus use innovative thinking, risk-taking, or failures as a learning experience to promote the campus vision?
I would say we don't. I would say it's out there. I know right now I'm involved in a stakeholders meeting, and we're going to look at these exact things. What are our strengths? What are our weaknesses? We're going to do a parent-teacher student survey. We're going to try to put together an improvement plan for our school for next year with those ideas in mind. But right now, when we say how does the campus use innovative thinking, risk-taking, or failures, again, it would come back to that faculty meeting moment or the one-on-one office visit. But I'm not seeing it as an all-campus solution finder. And I know in our fall retreat, the whole idea was to come up with this big vision. And we spent lots of time doing that, and now it sits on a poster board in the faculty room. And I couldn't even tell you what's on it. So we kind of haven't gone back with it.
Okay. All right, and our last question. What processes are used in improving morale, which moves the campus toward the realization of the campus vision?
Okay, what you just said, we really haven't had anything happening. There's been a lot of murmuring going on with our changes. But just recently, we did have a forum where it was kind of a event and also an acknowledgement. There wasn't any, like, you can't say that. I didn't feel like there was anything there that made people feel like they couldn't say what they wanted to say. I felt like if they were listened to, they were acknowledged, they were given the opportunity to say more or bring other people on. So I think maybe that door is opening. Maybe we're going to find that there's going to be more communication. I feel like communication has been our missing component this year for whatever reason. And so hopefully we're going to get on top of that. Maybe the school will open that door.
Okay. All right, thank you. Okay, our next interview that we're doing this morning is with one of our science teachers. And again, we're still talking about campus vision. So, our first question, how does the campus acknowledge, recognize, and celebrate those who implement strategies in support of the campus vision?
As far as acknowledging, I'm not sure how they acknowledge it to other teachers, but my own achievements, I feel that they haven't actually been acknowledged by anyone. The only time I really hear from administration is when they come with a complaint from a parent.
Okay.
So,
Okay. All right. Our next question. How are these contributions and achievements effectively communicated to the staff, students, and community?
I feel they're communicated mostly through emails, shout-outs, and faculty meeting announcements over the PA. A lot of them I find that are focused mostly on theater and choir. I say that because I don't recall ever hearing anything about the instrumental section and dance. So it's kind of biased towards one end of the school, but I think they do a good job at communicating. They just need to open it up to more areas.
Awesome. Okay, and our third question. How does the campus use innovative thinking, risk-taking, or failures as a learning experience to promote the campus vision?
As far as innovating, thinking, and risk-taking, I haven't had much of a chance to get out to other teachers. I know myself, I like to try to incorporate the arts into some of my lesson plans, so I give the students opportunities to be creative during projects. I think most of it comes down to how we handle the failures. And I feel like the students aren't punished when they fail. They're encouraged to keep trying and to improve.
Okay, and our last question. What processes are used in improving morale, which moves the campus toward the realization of the campus vision?
I think this one goes back again to the idea of not punishing our students for failure, not holding it against them. And if we're not holding that failure above the students, then they're more willing and they're more happy to try again in the future in order to improve themselves. That increases the morale of our students, pushes us towards that overall goal.
Okay. Do you have any thought on how that morale works with the staff?
With the staff,
At home?
I'm not actually really giving much thought.
Okay. Okay. No worries. Okay, thank you. All right, this is my reflection for my Lamar University participating video. And as I talked about in the intro, and as you watch the videos, we talked about campus vision and how we are doing as a campus. So the things that happened, again, I conducted 9 interviews with our principal, special ed director, guidance counselor, and 6 teachers. And all of those interviews went just a little bit different. Very interesting, really, to learn different opinions and get an overall feel of the atmosphere in the school. And there was a feeling at the time in the school. There was a huge kind of lack of communication, and maybe it wasn't communicated at the beginning of the year what some of our practices or procedures were going to be. We have a new principal this year, so some changes in administration and the way, which means that philosophies change. I know that the school, I've been here, this is my 4th year, and of course there becomes a culture and a way of how we do things at a school. And so that of course was going to change a little bit. Change can be a little hard for people with in different areas. So my feelings about the whole thing is that, again, at the time we needed to really open up and talk about some things, and a lot of the staff didn't feel like there was a forum for that. Like we had any opportunity to sit and talk about issues. Something that changed from last year to this year was that our faculty meetings used to be more of covering issues, talking about student problems, things that were coming up on the calendar, how we could help each other. And so we did a lot of talking and problem solving, but not a lot of productive professional development and PLC time, so that was really lacking. The new principal that came in looked to kind of work more on professional development, which most of us were happy with. We need to always be improving as staff and working on that. And so that was good, but that also kind of cut off the communication of what are we going to do when issues come up, and when are we going to talk about those, and help each other as a staff with solutions. So there became a feeling with teachers that we couldn't really talk about those, or that they were going to be in the way of professional development time, which, when we don't, of course, talk about issues or things that bother us, either about students or about how the administration handles something, and we let that build up, of course it becomes a bigger problem than it really is a lot of the time. And so that was something that needed to be handled. So my evaluation kind of what was good and bad about the experience, it was great to hear what different staff members had to say. Most of the teachers had different opinions, of course, than the office or administrative staff. And so of course you're going to get a lot of different opinions, and most of the teacher staff was not as happy and thought the experience wasn't as good, and the administrative staff seemed to be kind of unaware of that, which was a little bit of a surprise in some ways, but not in others, just because some of the administrative staff is new and getting used to how we work as a staff, how the teachers are. It was a little surprising to me this late in the year that we had not taken the time to work through some things, but it was good that changed. As time went on, I did these interviews over really a 2-week span of time, and in the middle of that span of time, a few days, right in the middle of it, we had a teacher forum that was completely separate from our faculty meeting, our weekly meeting, and one of the teachers had brought this to the attention of the principal that they felt like we needed to have a forum to talk about issues. And so the initial meeting that we had covered any and all issues that anybody wanted to bring to the table. And really the meeting went very professionally. Everybody handled themselves calmly. But we got a lot of things talked about, and I think a lot of teachers felt better about that experience, and we kind of have some groundwork laid down for how we're going to handle things going forward with issues. I spoke with the principal a little bit in advance of this, and it's great. She's been a wonderful mentor for this and has mentored many leadership candidates in her years. And we kind of talked about, she's like, kind of pay attention to how the meeting goes, more because you will be, eventually in this seat and see how things are handled and what you're aware of, and or how I react to things. So so that was a great learning experience. Again, she's been wonderful to kind of talk with as I've gone through different experiences so far to this point in the master's program. So things that I can kind of glean from this situation, again, having a new principal, what I've learned is the way that the administration has handled things this year has been from more of a business perspective, just trying to figure out how the school works, being at a new school, and how things go, and the human side of things has dropped off a bit. And of course, my belief is that if we're not taking care of our human capital, we're not really taking care of anything, because our staff and students, stakeholders are what matter more than the daily business of things. On the other hand, of course, we have to run a school, and things have to get accomplished financially, taking care of parent concerns or issues, and anything of that nature. So I really learned, as usual, what a dynamic and oftentimes lonely position it can be to be the administrator, to be the principal specifically, and be the leader. And kind of have to take things in the teeth a little bit. I think our principal handled the meeting really well. I do wish that administration would have been more aware of this later in the year. But at the same time, you can't read minds. So you have to try to just do the best you can, I think, to feel things out. And so I think moving into the next school year, the team will work a little better on that, because we'll be used to each other and how that works. And so good lessons for me as a future, first-time vice principal or principal, stepping into that role and looking at how do I really handle my staff. How do I handle taking the time to get to know them and building a relationship of trust? And I think there was a little bit of a lack of trust on how to go talk to the administration about things, and how we should go about different concerns. And so, and that kind of covers really what else, I would have thought should have been done, is just take more time to do that, and take more time to communicate to your staff what your specific expectations are. I think the expectations area was left really wide open this year. And again, if you kind of heard that from some of the interviews, that teachers felt like they really didn't have a forum or a place to go talk about their issues and get those resolved and worked out. And again, those things build up and it causes a problem. So that's really what I would have done if I pick, an action area to work on from this experience. It's how can I come in as a new administrator and make the effort to make sure I absolutely build trust and make sure that everybody knows that my door's open, that I'm going to be open to their concerns and open to the human side of what their needs are. I understand that every teacher is different, every classroom is different, every person comes in with different situations every day, and we have, concerns just the same as our students do. We might just handle them a little different. So, awesome experience. That's the end of my campus interview video and reflection. I appreciate it again, your time listening to my video. I look forward to continuing with an awesome university. Lamar has been a great experience so far, and I'm just about halfway through it. So, thank you.